Oh, hello and welcome again to River Valley Farms. So let's see, where did I leave off yesterday? Oh yeah, with that thing right there. So as you can see, I got a new bolt and spring in there. I don't know if it's a heavy enough spring or not, but it's in there, so that's good. And then after I quit filming, I decided I was going to go ahead and take the knife out, the plunger knife out of its place here, which was accomplished with these 3 bolts. Take them out, and then there were some shims and other fun stuff. But anyway, we took them out, brought this thing out, and then I used a file to take the rolled edges off, more or less. About all I did. And then we'll get into how to reshim that thing too. Maybe not today, but one of these days. Oh yeah, and there's the file that I used to work on that. So yeah, basically right now I need to put this thing all back together. Got to tighten this bolt up, put this all back together, and put it back in so we can go on about setting our wad board timing. So that's what we're going to do right now, or what I'm going to do right now. Alright, so I'll put this spring and this bolt in here and put this all back together. Come to find out, it's not nearly enough spring. It won't even keep the jaws apart under the weight of the jaw. So we're gonna have to figure something out with that. I've got a couple of smaller springs that I could add to that spring, but I have a feeling that they have a purpose somewhere, like for say this one. I could put that in there and add to that one. Or we can just try and... There's all kinds of interesting stuff in this toolbox. I really should clean it out one of these days. Anyway. So yeah, there's... I can add this one to it, or I can try and shim that spring with washers and see if I can get it to work that way. But either way, we're not done with the spring yet. So... Alright, anyway, like I said, we're not done with the spring yet. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that. 100%. I'd really hate to break down and buy one from New Holland and wait, take a week to get here, but anyway, I guess if that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do, but that's not what I wanna do. Let's put it that way. So we're gonna try something else real quick and see what happens. Only it's not gonna be real quick for me. Okay, so after I put, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe there's 5 washers in there. We'll do the test and see, does it collapse when I turn it over or not. Not completely. I really need a 3 3/4 inch long bolt. Would be kind of helpful, but I don't have any of those, and apparently, sorry, my lens is all greasy again, and apparently that's not a common item for hardware stores and stuff to have. And my somewhat local Fastenal place, you have to call in your order 30 minutes ahead of time and then stop in and pick it up, or rather they'll bring it to you. They won't let you inside anymore at all. So, you know, welcome to the coronavirus world. So yeah, while it's better than it was, it's still not great, but we're gonna live with it, I guess, and see what it does for now. You know, worst comes to worst, all we have to do is take it apart and fix it, right? So yeah, like I say, we're gonna go ahead and let that be the way it is, because you know, this thing doesn't lay like that. It sits like this, right? So that should work. But I need a 3 3/4 inch long 5/16 bolt. That would be probably the smartest thing I could do right now. But as I said, those are like special order now or something, so we're not going to worry about it right this second. We'll deal with it later. So now I got to finish putting all the bolts back in that thing so it'll stay together, and then we can put it in and do our wad board timing. And maybe if the video doesn't get too long, we'll go into setting the clearance between the plunger and this knife, because both probably need some adjustment. Or well, we know the wad board timing needs to be adjusted, and the other thing, it probably needs to be adjusted too. So anyway, if I can get over having stuff in my eye, that's what we're going to do. Alright, so 3.5 inches from the left hand wall of the bale chamber. That's what they said. So excuse me whilst I take my measuring stick apart. Okay, so I gotta get a different magnet or something. This one's just too ridiculous. But anyway, how many times am I gonna say that before I actually do it? Don't know, but we'll see. Okay, I'm trying to get you guys down there somewhere, because my arm won't hardly fit down the bale chamber. Okay. See what you're looking at, maybe. That's pretty dang close, I guess. So anyway, we're going for 3.5 inches. And they're a little tight by the looks of things. So, maybe that's it. So I don't know how well you guys can see that or not, but that's like 3 5/8. And 3 5/8 is good enough for who it's for. So next on the list then is to sweep some of the chaff off the floor so I can lay down on the floor and then put the other, or the front drive chain on, connect it, and go from there. Then maybe we'll connect the PTO shaft to see if we have a horrible crash or not. But anyway, so all that being said, yeah, guess it's time to try it. What's the worst that'll happen? It'll throw itself apart? Okay, so our chain is hooked back up. As you can see here, that's the chain in question. I need to tighten that bolt. Let me tighten that bolt before I change my mind and forget about what I was doing here. Gotta tighten this bolt. More bad things will happen. We don't want bad things to happen. We've had enough bad things here lately. Okay, that ought to do for that. So, chain is wrapped around the sprocket back there, wrapped around the pulley up here. It is attached to the master link here. I guess I'm gonna have to get my light over here. Okay. Attached to the master link there, and this is bolted together as well. So that leaves us with seeing what our measurement is in the bale chamber. If I can get up off the floor. It's been a long day, I guess. And it's not even dark yet. That's ridiculous. Anyway, so I'm gonna put you guys back down in here. So maybe. And you get this little thing. Put it back down in there. Like that. Hopefully that's working out. And I need the measuring stick. Alright, so now we are at 4 inches. That's more than we needed it to be, but anyway, that's still sticking out in there pretty good ways. And that the book says approximately anyway, and we are in fact. Yeah, well, you know what? If we come down here on the teeth, that's just kind of in the way. Oh, we're going to call that one because my measuring isn't working so well at the moment. It's somewhere between 3.5 and 4 inches from the wall, so that should be good. So now, we're going to turn the flywheel by hand. I should say, I'm going to turn the flywheel by hand. You guys aren't going to help. At least if you do, you won't help very much. And we'll see what happens. Oopsie. So, turny. This is the normal direction of rotation. Everything seems really nice and free so far. Let me close this thing down. And maybe I'll be able to see a little bit better what's going on here. Well, according to that, we've already turned it through a full rotation and didn't hit anything. Well, this just isn't any fun at all, is it? Okay, so that puts us in the rearward-most point of travel. And then, can I lock this in place somehow? I'm sure I can. I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna do it. Anyway. Just got to figure out how I'm gonna do it. Let's see. So, let's go with that. And, alright, we are more than a few degrees past center there, but we haven't moved the plunger yet. So, plunger is all the way back. And then just for curiosity's sake, where is our wadboard guide, this piece right here, is a good ways away from the end of its track. So that is good. And then now, let me go ahead and spin this thing back around again. And guess we don't need that on TV. Anyway, spin this thing around 180 degrees. Put my big bolt in here and catch it again. Oops, missed it. There we go. Now we got her under control. Alright, so now Our wad board is in there where it's supposed to be. Looks like it's going to be okay to me on that part. So now, I'm going to park this thing, try and park this thing like halfway in between here somewhere, so I can get the knife back in it with the original shims that it had in there. And then we'll read the book and measure and see what we're supposed to have. But anyway, those three went together. These two went together. And this one. Now, of course, these all fell out all by themselves, and I have no idea where they went. Or at least not of the longer ones anyway. This little short one, I would venture to guess went down here on the bottom because it would work down there on, or this was at the top. Yeah, that's how it was in there, like that. Okay, so this little short one had to go at the top, like so. So anyway, let me get this thing rolled around and we'll stick this back in and see what we got. Okay, so for clarity's sake, New Holland calls this a stationary knife. In the old book over there, they call that a stationary knife. And this is the non-stationary knife. Okay, so there's supposed to be, or well, they call this a knife. I don't see it being very knife-like. It's pretty much a square edge right there. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Anyway, we're going to go back with what we know, which is what we had, and whether or not that's good or not, I don't know, but it really wasn't giving me any issues. The only issue I was having was when I was feeding, big wads of material into it, it would mistie with this knotter. Okay, this knotter would not tie properly when it had a big wad of material going into it. So I sharpened this, meaning I just filed it off. I mean, I just ground off the round edges with a file. So anyway, I guess we're gonna go back with what we knew on that, which was this knife being in there like this. Okay, that's how it was in there, which is about the only way it would cut. But I think we're going to have to reference the parts manual, which I happen to have over here as well, and see what it shows. Maybe it'll show us something a little bit better about what's going on here. No, that's how this is showing it anyway. So, okay then. Looks like we just need to put it in there and put a 1/32 inch clearance between the knives, which hopefully was already established. But if it wasn't, there was some shim stock in that toolbox. So I guess we'll learn how to cut shims and all that good stuff. Anyway, let me get this knife bolted in and then we'll go from there. So anyway, New Holland specifies 1/32 of an inch clearance in here. So the only thing I have to really measure that gap with at the moment is this thing. And this is 3/32 of an inch thick, approximately. There's that word again, approximately, because I don't have anything better than this with which to measure it. So let me show you what I got going here. Now you try to figure out how to get you down in here again without dropping the camera. So keep an eye over in this general area. How'd you like that ride? Anyway.
You scooted it off.
Okay, so we're gonna go with that as being good for now. Stick the light back down in here. Maybe you will see something. Maybe. So now. And that passes clean through there, more or less. Hopefully my angle has got you guys that. But anyway. So, as I said, I got a little bit too much of a gap there. Anyway. And then as I said, this thing's thickness, if I can figure out where I was measuring it from, right here, is about 3/32 of an inch. I don't know how well you can read that, but that's what that reads to me, is 3/32 of 1 inch, or maybe even 1/8 of an inch. Either way, this is something that is typically measured with a feeler gauge rather than a ruler. Yeah. Dirty face. He's gonna need a bath. So anyway, shimming it is pretty straightforward. We just have to add shims behind that knife, or maybe behind the other knife in there as well, until we get it all to line up.
Where is the knife?
It's right here. That's the knife right there. Okay?
I'm sticking my head in the knife.
Well, don't be poking at that thing. It's sharp. Okay?
That?
Yeah, everything in there's sharp. Okay?
I'll get out the way.
Yeah, get out of the way. Very good.
Get out the way.
So, anyway, I'm going to say stay tuned for tomorrow, and we will go through shimming, the process of shimming the knife, and see what it does then. Or well, we won't really get to see what it does then, because I don't have any hay mowed down anywhere, and we're not going to mow any hay down for a while because I don't have any to mow. But anyway, that's all for this one, I believe. Like I said, stay tuned for shimming the knives tomorrow. We'll see how in-depth we got to get on that. First things first though, let me see if I even got any more shim stock, because I think I do, but I don't know that to be 100% sure. If I don't, then I'm probably gonna have to go someplace and try to get some of that. And I'm sure that that will be easier said than done. Yes, Nosy?
None is working.
Okay, so there's none in there. Which means, oh wait, I have a supply. Never mind. I won't have to go buy any after all. I know where there's some at. So now, yeah, I'm sure I've said this like 3 times, but thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully that will conclude the series on fixing the baler.